Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the 30th episode of my Black Ops 2 weapon guide. This time, we're covering the Scar H. Unlocked at level 40, the Scar design has seen multiple outings in Call of Duty, with the Scar H first seen in Modern Warfare 2 and the Scar L in MW 3. The FN Scar, or Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle, is a Belgian weapon, designed and manufactured by FN Herstal. Produced for a US SOCOM competition in 2004, FN's Scar platform proved successful in testing and entered into service with the US Rangers in 2009. The rifle is offered in two key variants: the Scar L, or Light, firing the NATO intermediate cartridge, and the Scar H, as seen in Black Ops 2, firing the NATO full-power rifle cartridge, the 7.62 by 51mm round. The Scar H is a modern battle rifle, festooned with Picatinny rails to appeal to Special Forces' need for flexibility and customization. In-game, damage is good, particularly for a fully automatic weapon. You'll kill with 3 shots to the body or 2 to the head, and the Scar retains this lethality out to quite some distance too. Even at the longest ranges, you'll never need more than 4 shots to kill, and with even a single headshot guaranteeing a 3-shot kill, you'll never be left wanting for power. Penetration ability is good too, above average for the assault rifles and instead on par with the LMGs. Rate of fire is relatively slow, at 625 rounds per minute. This is on the lower end for automatic weapons and may hamper the Scar's consistency in close quarters. While hipfire spread is the same as most other assault rifles, and you will only need to land 3 shots, the lower overall output may result in a slower time to kill than a faster firing weapon such as an SMG. Recoil is high, with the weapon rapidly kicking upwards and to the right under automatic fire. It can be moderated if the weapon is fired in bursts, and due to the high range damage, it is quite possible to use the Scar at a distance with good fire control. Aim time is standard for the class at 250 milliseconds, and your mobility is as expected too, at 95% of the base speed. Magazine capacity is average at 30 rounds, typical for an assault rifle. Extended clip will take this capacity to 40 rounds instead. Reloads are fairly average too, at 2.4 seconds to complete. Slightly on the slow end for an assault rifle, but far from inconveniently long. Our build with the Scar H is all about penetration power, a class designed to maximize the Scar's already fearsome ability to pierce cover and quickly dispatch enemies lurking behind. To that end, our selections revolve around maximizing your means of detecting enemies behind cover, and otherwise supplying your ability to flush them out with your powerful fire. Our first choice is FMJ, boosting the Scar H's already high ability to pierce through cover. With it, you can land some surprising kills, the high per-shot damage pairing nicely with automatic fire and elevated penetration ability to seek out obscured foes. If you know there's an enemy lurking behind a wall, you'll be able to feel out their position with automatic fire, and FMJ will let you secure the kill before they have a chance to get away. An alternative choice here would be the millimetre scanner. While sadly you cannot pair this with FMJ, this sight will give you a fleeting glimpse of static enemies directly through walls. It's a trade-off, however, and while the MMS will let you put the Scar's elevated penetration ability to use with precision, our class is primarily built for cutting through cover with more reckless abandon. Spraying through walls can waste your ammunition, so our second choice helps facilitate this. Extended clip gives you 40 rounds between reloads, and similarly extends your starting supply. Perfect for a build designed for blind firing. More bullets per mag also means you can endure multiple gunfights without reloading, and the extra rounds might very well save your life. Next up, Hardline is our first perk selection, with easier support streaks such as UAVs and VSATs proving useful to those seeking a positional advantage. Attain the orbital VSAT and you can put your wall-piercing power to good use, with the exact location of enemies highlighted in real time on the minimap. Next, Perk 2 Greed lets us double up our selection from the second tier, and the first of these two choices is Scavenger. Shooting through walls can be a wasteful affair, so the ability to resupply is a welcome one. In addition to extra magazines, you'll also resupply your grenades and equipment. supporting a class designed for extensive use of your assets at hand. Extended clip also comes into play here. Each blue scavenger pack you collect will give you an extra 40 rounds instead of the usual 30, increasing your supply and generally permitting more liberal dispensation. Our second tier 2 choice is toughness. This will augment your long-range performance, ensuring you're not knocked off your mark when tackling distant targets. It's hard enough to wrangle the Scar's heavy recoil, and with the lower rate of fire, it is important to land successive shots with the weapon. So this perk can quite often make a difference in gunfights. Our third tier choice is Engineer. For a class designed to negate the effects of cover, the ability to see equipment through walls can be very useful. With it, you can avoid traps and detonate them remotely, and a well-placed bullet, with an ounce of luck, can trigger an enemy's own defense and catch them in the blast. Otherwise, the red glowing shapes will give you prime indication as to where your opponent is holed up, and will be your cue to pepper their position with bullets to see if you can't discover their spot without ever entering their domain. Sometimes, however, bullets just won't do the job, and so that's where your equipment selections come in. Possibly the best choice for tossing through windows or bouncing around corners, the frag grenade is a versatile offering that offers explosive performance over indirect lines of sight. Use your grenades liberally to flush out static enemies or to clear objectives. With Scavenger, you'll regularly maintain your stock whilst on the move. Finally, in your tactical slot, we select the sensor grenade, a seldom employed but uniquely useful bit of kit that can reveal hidden enemies lurking ahead. The sensor will mark enemies within the grenade's line of sight with a red laser, potentially indicating foes you might have missed and preventing an untimely death. With sufficient exposure, the enemy's exact position will be marked on your minimap and refreshed every second or so. Toss a sensor ahead through a doorway or window, and you'll have eyes on enemy unseen, and the ability to engage without risking a direct approach. Just be aware that enemies with cold-blooded will not show up, so the most ardent of camper might escape your electronic gaze. The sensor grenade will only last a few seconds in any case, but once spent, it will explode, dealing minor damage to enemies in the vicinity and potentially finishing off a wounded quarry. That's our build. One designed to cut through cover, taking advantage of the Scar's improved ability compared to the other automatic assault rifles. Such power can take an unaware foe by surprise, and will erode enemy defensive positions while minimizing any risk of engagement. The Scar H is a powerful automatic weapon that can prove tough to handle, but otherwise offers deadly per-shot damage and an uncompromised ability to pierce cover. It is its damage which proves to be the Scar's key asset, with its consistent 3-shot kill out to a substantial range, beating most other automatic weapons. With its LMG-grade penetration, not much of this damage is lost when shooting through cover, and sometimes you might find yourself surprised with unexpected kills upon hapless enemies behind your intended target. However, you pay for this awesome damage with some serious downsides. A slower rate of fire moderates your performance in closer quarters, while the heavy recoil demands good fire control to remain effective at a longer distance. This means the Scar H proves most effective within a relatively narrow middle-range band, outside the reach of shotguns and SMGs, but at a distance where the recoil isn't too hard to control. Still, the Scar copes relatively well out of its element, as a player with good fire control can put the higher damage to task at almost any range. While you might not be able to compete with SMGs up close, a slightly more cautious playstyle will limit this weakness. Beyond merely scratching the surface, this weapon can cut deep and tear flesh behind. No doubt, the Scar will leave a lasting impression. Thanks for watching. This has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me next week when I'll be covering the RPG. Until then, farewell.